So Floppy Ear's not here at the moment. We've seen him with this group. That Floppy Ear Rhino, not Floppy Ear Hyena. He seems to have a... maybe fell on his head when he was a baby. Squashed his ear and has a deformed cartilage in the ear. Well now, these three are the three we saw yesterday. That big guy with the big horn is a late addition. He's come and joined them. We have this young female. What we're looking at now is the mother, probably, of this young female. Who I think is possibly going to be having another youngster at some point. Could be could be short-horn female actually. And I think that he is short-horn, this bull. This is right in the middle of his territory anyway. And this is short-horn calf, who is getting much bigger now. She's almost adult size. Wow. You're quite a rhino, eh? The other bull. I need to get a photo of him. Can't keep photo tabs of all our rhino that come through this part of the world. There was a big court case today up in the northern part of the country in an area where rhino poaching has been the worst ever. It involves cross-border poaching into Zimbabwe, and shocking to hear that there were 2 veterinarians and 2 people from an animal rehabilitation center that were involved, and that would explain how drugs are used and how they get their hands on dart guns and drugs to drug the animals. Well now, I wonder. Quite special. They've come out of the bush towards us. They're actually coming to see us. He's in Cumbia, slowly making their way towards Bum Road from the dam. Ephraim, is that Buffalo? Good. Wild dog. Gallagher, tomorrow morning we're going to go look around Warby's Road, Buffalo cut line. Wild dogs up in Buffalo. Let's see if we can move for another position here. Tex, come in. Tex, where was that Ingwe this morning? Okay, copy. Maneuver ourselves. Yeah, one of them's already, the big one's already up on the road. If we can find a way. Crunch, crunch. Should be able to squeeze through here. Yeah, he's huffing and puffing. Let me just stop quickly. Let him settle again. Interesting question, are there, Jack? Hang on, Jack, in Long Island. New York, Long Island. Oh, that's right. Long Beach I was thinking of. Which is on Long Island. It's where I stayed, but there's also Long Beach, California. There's only one Long Island. Jack wants to know if there's any relationship between... Just listening to radio, Jack. Johnny, come in. I'm not sure if you're copied, Form Combi, Spam Road. No, looks like they've been there. They're on their way up towards the limit cut line. Sorry, Jack. Jack wanted to know if there's any historical connection between. Well, that's paraphrasing. If there's any connection between rhinos and pigs? No, I don't think so, Jack. I mean, we're talking about a three-toed ungulate, the rhino, as opposed to. Hey, what is a pig? Two-toed? Four-toed? Even-toed? How are we going to get out of here? We can't get out of here. We can't get anywhere until these rhino move. I'm also a bit reluctant to go forward because it's going to be disturbing the guests' photographic experience. Perhaps to go find the buffalo's horn. Let's make our way around this way. We can. The road's not very fast. It's the other side of a termite mound here, but it's a matter of actually just finding a way to get there. There's a little worry thicket. And then there are dead trees that are forcing us to go left instead of right. Might be a good thing, you know, where you find other things and you're trying to find your way back to the road. And one thing, here, kind of trees. Worse and worse. How's the road? 5 meters.
Now, 2005, just some seconds to Galapagan, also the starting out of going up to all the other parts. Yes, but the next year, I'm on there to the most capital that you go. I didn't know.
Can't see that. See if I can catch up with a bigger bull, the one we didn't see yesterday. Now crossing the road. There he is, just crossing the road now. Come this way, come. Come to me. Combi now heading west, just crossed Spum Road. I'll have to leave a branch in the road. Okay, I'm going to go forward. I have to turn around and then we'll come back. Just want to grab a quarry branch off of a tree if I can find one. There we go, there's a quarry. Or I can turn around. I can leave a branch in the road. A branch. And I want a fly swatter for myself this afternoon. There's a fly swatter, and sorry little worry, we'll grow another one. yeah. Wild dog just near Gallagher Camp at the moment.
Station on Caramel.
Copy that. Thank you, Marlene. I think that's Marlene's talking about the court case I was talking about today. Quite appropriately, people in court on a day that is declared Rhino Day. And having a whole bunch of people in court for rhino poaching. Evidently 11 of them released on bail. Wow, look at you. Have to get a few shots of him. Because I've got shots of the other three from yesterday. It's really amazing. I think at this stage we can say goodbye. Or should we appreciate them some more? It's one thing to sit quietly and have animals approach you. You can't drive up to these animals the way they come towards us. Just driving here, just moving away a little bit. I was just looking, it's getting very thick. I was going to think of maybe trying to get around towards, back on the western side of them. I can try. But for a final goodbye, and if we can, it's quite a detour to get around them. make a noise. Too much dead wood. Wonderful. The white rhinoceros, as you can see, not very white looking, and part of that is because that has nothing to do with them at all. They're not got nothing to do with colour. It is all about misunderstanding. The British, hearing that the Dutch called it the wide-mouthed rhino, thought the Dutch were saying white, not wide. So its name is better known as a square-lipped rhinoceros or wide-mouthed rhino. Some books you might have them referred to as a grass rhino, or grasslands rhino. Very elongate head to be able to reach their food source, which is grasses, rather than having a long neck. The long neck with a heavy enough head wouldn't be very practical. That's a very short, stubby neck. That's a large muscle capacity to carry that head. And well, clearly they don't really like us being so much in front of them. So they stop and graze, and then I get in front of them, and then they walk past us and stop and graze. Still, wonderful sighting of rhino this afternoon. Particularly this lovely big bull. Who is hopefully safe from those evil hands of the syndicates. Evil personified. That a human can even do that is beyond me. Really sometimes ashamed to be a human being. Okay. I was going to wave at you with my shadow. Bye, boys and girls. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we are having a bit of a deja vu kind of day. Oh, the baby not born. Try and straddle it so that it doesn't damage it. important trees in my life, not thorns. The station's leaving Lockett in Combi, slowly moving southwest from Spum Road. I've left a Gorry branch in the road, about 100 meters off the road. If anybody's interested, for Rhino. They've got wild dog and buffalo herds up in Buffalo's Hook that they're playing with. Terminalia sericea, getting little leaf buds, little silvery tips to its leaves, to its leaf buds. Swallow it up, jump up behind it. A little knob thorn, no, a little black monkey thorn. Very similar to the knob thorn, the black monkey thorn. If it doesn't have the knobs, looks identical, and it's very young with a very yellowish bark. Same curved hooked thorns, yet it's got a much smaller leaflet and a different configuration of leaflets. Old lion tracks here on Spum Road. Maybe this is the tracks that Patrick was following the other day to Gowrie Dam. This is the tracks. Where did I learn English? These are the tracks. These are they. Oh, I left the Gorry branch over there. I could have left it over here. Silly me. Oh, that didn't sound good. Lion tracks. Not with you, vehicle. Rolling uphill. Interesting. This lion was running. Big male lion. Patrick? Anybody mention lion tracks on Spum Road? Of course, not that fresh. So. It's not that fresh. But there was a big male lion here. Anybody see Nkonzo for Big Madoda Ngala on Spum Road heading north recently? I wasn't here when we were with Mishu the other day. Buffalo scratching sand, dragging his feet. The lazy buffalo, dragging his feet, covering up these lion tracks. What's that noise? Hi. I don't know, I guess I'm hearing the machines at the back and I'm thinking of quite often I get the same.
Can I join you for the combi?
Okay. Able come in? Did you see that Mkonzo for that Madoda Ngala?
can book them. So, 6 traffic, spend more time. Listen, barrier, as you book.
We'll have to go up Zoe's Road or something later. Although Andrew did. Andrew, come in. Did you do Zoe's Road before?
I did Zoe's Road, yes.
And then Galam Konzo up there first.
Not yet, I didn't book it. Maybe you can double check, but I didn't book it.
Okay. Okay. Dawn, you're teasing me now, surely. How much does an adult rhino head weigh? You know, I'm sure I'd get the answer out of that Nat Geo, or no, that there was that Discovery program, Inside Nature's Giants. Did they dissect the rhino, I wonder? Maybe they weighed the head of a rhino. I mean, I would imagine it's got to weigh well up on 50 kilos, at least. But to be honest with you, I haven't the faintest idea. I mean, it's not like I haven't thought of it, because you just look at a rhino and you can see that it's a heavy head. Sorry, by the way, I'm just looking for tracks, and if there is a leopard in this block, I just want to see if it's come out on the road somewhere, and so far not. Still curious about lion tracks. I'm trying to think. The last male lion we had was that lion up on Buffelshoek Dam. Before then there was that male with the 2 females at Gowrie Dam a couple of days ago. That was a young male. This is the tracks I've just seen on Spum Road. Pretty big lion. Drag marks. Drag marks, however, these are not drag marks from an animal being dragged by a predator. These are drag marks from a rhino dragging its bottom lip on the ground. I guess it might have been a bit depressed about something. Ha ha. No, they do that sometimes, and their nose is to the ground. Just their chin kind of brushes the sand, and they kind of sense something, trying to maybe sense a female. At least I think it was, because there were rhino tracks on either side of the drag mark. Now there's something somewhat interesting. Let's go forward, better track forward here. That lion again. And leopard. And lion. Interesting. I'm kind of getting convinced that we've got some lion around here somewhere. That was coming across the road. Who calling? Who are you calling? Interesting to have Induna in this little block, as well as looks like lion tracks going in there. I wonder if maybe it wasn't, it doesn't Doesn't make sense that it was a couple of days ago when Misha made that Dacre kill. I mean, it would make sense that the noise would bring in lion if they were within earshot. It would make sense, but I don't know, these tracks look a little bit fresher than the time that Misha killed the Dacre. It was just in here, actually, not far from us. Off to our left, area where there again lion tracks. Was anything mentioned about lion tracks this side on Treehouse Dam South, Patrick? Big male lion once again, but now there's vehicle tracks on top of it. Yeah, no, let's see. Number of vehicle tracks on top. It's going to go in here. The tracks that are heading off, or either coming in or out. Actually, it's coming out of the bush over here. This could have been somewhere where Misha was. Patrick just saying that. Sorry, just saying that these are probably the tracks from those lion that he found a couple of days ago. Followed them to. Dam. There's the big jackalberry. We're just not far from the dam. Just on my right here is the big jackalberry that is just up from the dam itself. We could probably go down into this drainage line and follow it all the way back to the dam, just in case we find a cat in here. Or just in case he is somewhere sleeping in this area. Be in here before, but it seems there have been elephants here in the meantime, in between the last time I was here and now, because it's difficult to get through here now. worth a try anyway. Maybe he's still between here and the dam. Not getting that time of day for a leopard to think about having a drink. Putting it out there that this leopard is thirsty. Time to come and have a drink of water. Dave, I didn't, hi Dave, Dave Hill. I was just wondering if it has been renamed. We're just talking about the blue waxbill, the little blue finch family, from the finch family. Gee, my grammar's not very good this afternoon. I guess because my brain is elsewhere, trying to find a leopard. Dave, I was just saying that. Oh, they come back to the road, those miners. I was just saying that here in South Africa we call them blue waxbills, but in East Africa they're called cordon bleus. And I was wondering if the name has changed in the new. Well, there's been a name change. We in South Africa now need to call them cordon bleus. I don't think so. I think we still consider them blue waxbills. Red cheek, or is it the red face? No, red cheek waxbill. Red cheek cordon bleu in East Africa, amongst others. Oh well. Move on. I think we'll take elephant skull. Whoa! Forgot this tree was pushed over. Actually, no. Elephant feeding on the roots. I'm just looking where the clay was situated on that tree. It's more rhino height than elephant height. That must have been before the elephant pushed it over. See this tree here, where my hand is, that is elephant height, rubbing its sort of shoulder there. Bit of sand and mud, and sometimes you pick up pieces of hair. It can be interesting finding trees where they have rubbed after having a mud bath. Sometimes find. Oh, sorry, have a look at something. If I didn't know any better, I'd say that's a python track going into that hole. Very smooth patch of sand in a straight line. Python or puff adder, but I don't think puff adder can be that big. Where was I before I was rudely interrupted by myself? Mud on trees from elephants and rhino and buffalo rubbing, apart from bits of hair that you can find. Buffalo, speak of the devils, there they are. Across the drainage line though, we would have to go around onto the other road, which would bring us right in front of, well, we'll do that then. Because that will bring us right in front of those buffalo. One or two of them standing on that road. And so you also find ticks and all sorts of other little things embedded in the clay and the mud that sticks to the bark of the tree. See if we can find that for you later on when we get the rains, and even now I guess we'll be able to find it around the waterhole. Quite a few buffalo. I can recognize one of them. Very narrow face, narrow curved to his horns. Hello boys. I think they stretched out over quite an area. It's good this time. There's the old grey old bull. In this group of Duggar boys a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go further up. I did see 1 or 2 on the road. There's number 10, 11. Probably about 15 or so. No, even more on this side of the road. Gosh, quite a lot of them. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 on the way, 18 in the road. It's not a breeding herd, it's just a big bachelor group of Duggar boys. But I suppose if they're Duggar boys, we can't really call them a bachelor group, can we? Oh, I suppose maybe we could. No longer bachelors. Another 1, 2, 3, there's another 5 or 6 here. That takes it up to about 25 already. Hey old man, where's the judge? Speaking of the judge, those of you who know Mike and Laura, Mike Williamson is responsible for a lot of the fancy little features that we have on our opening and closing. Mike made me my remarkable creatures opener and close. The start and the end to the drives. And Mike and Laura are in camp at the moment, visiting. They've been in Australia for some time now. And they've just done a trip to the Kruger Park. And Mike was saying he's got a photograph of a buffalo with no horns in the Kruger, not far from Harvey Sand, of course. And we're going to try and compare these photos and see if it's not the judge. It might answer the question as to where the judge is and why he hasn't been around, because he's stepping it up a notch, slumming it in the Kruger Park. Hello, Mr. Buffalo. A big group of Duggar boys, Weaver's Nest Junction Treehouse Dam. Very slowly moving up towards the dam.
On the right side, you can pull up and very close to them there. Little bit grazing around it. Are you coming up to the matter? Last week? Okay, copy. Then I'll just come and
Thank you, Jack. Saying that he's had a look in Newman's. Still called the blue waxbill here. I really need to get my head around these new bird names, the ones that have changed. Let's go forward, Sid. Big bull. Look at that beautiful light. This late afternoon light as the buff crossed the road. In fact, maybe not. Maybe we won't go forward. Very, very bright, looking straight up the road. I mean, it's due west, this road. And the sun is actually going to set straight down this road. But a buffalo just crossed the road, way up at the top there. And as he crossed the road, he was dragging his feet. He's the buffalo that's dragging his feet. Actually, they all do when they're old and they're hot and they're tired and they're lazy. But in this beautiful light, the dust that he was kicking up was getting blown by the wind. And of course, when you've got the light behind the dust, you get a beautiful effect. So we're about to see it now as these bulls come across the road. And I want to move back a little bit so we can, instead of going forward, we move back a little bit. You should get to see the same effect with this bull as he comes out onto the road. And as he crosses. He's not dragging his feet so much. Kick up some dust. Okay, well, settle the dust. He's picking up his feet. He's not really dragging them. Okay, next.
Yeah.
There we go. Come. No, stop rubbing your horns. Come, cross the road. Please. He just wants a good neck scratch there first. Grass is greener on this side. Not really. Thought he might fall for it. But then, can't expect buffalo to understand English, can you? Beautiful when you get a big herd of buffalo and you've got this kind of light and the whole herd is moving and you pick up this beautiful dust cloud and they're on a road or something. There we go. Are you going to drag your feet for me? I think it's just too much into the sun.
Next one I'll get it right.
You only got two more.
Go.
That's a big old man at the back there. He's going to drag his feet. Of course, we got this one. He got it obscure. Don't there. Look at that. Funny how they decide to actually stop in the road and then drop their droppings. And they do drop their droppings off the road. But I suppose like a pathway for them. They say, okay, well, no food here, let me put a pat here. Walk up the road for us, Mr. Buffalo. Just wetting the dust first. Wetting the sand. And you gotta go. Reminds me of a 2-year-old who's just found out how to do it off the potty. Didn't want to drag his feet. Well, it was a nice try. Nice try. Let's move up a little. No, we haven't gone very far this afternoon. And the fact that these buffalo have brought us back onto this road that goes up to Treehouse Dam, I'm inclined to go back past the dam, back up Spum Road, onto Philemon's Cut Line, and go up to Zoe's Road. Hi boys. Leaving lock of these Dogger boys, about 20 of them. Junction of Weaver's Nest and Treehouse Dam, open lock. Only because I'm convinced that leopard is still wherever that it was this morning in that block, and it's just, there's no indication that it's left that area. There are no tracks leading out of that area. And sometimes only way to maybe find a leopard is to be persistent. A bunch more of these old boys actually heading to the dam. Dam's only about another 50 yards up ahead. They're heading there to drink, so well, good chance if we stop and watch, maybe a leopard will come out of the woodwork. Banded mongoose. There, at the water. We're going to stop there because they're going to run. At the water. And we have very, very seldom been able to get these animals on camera because they're very, very shy in this part of the world. We see dwarf mongoose so often. And here for a brief moment we're going to be able to get the much larger banded mongoose. They're about 4 times the size. There's still one scratching in buffalo dung at the dam there. The rhino dung. And if he stays there, the big buffalo are going to come in front of him in the picture soon. I don't think the mongoose is going to be too worried about the buffalo. Look at this. Look at this. This is beautiful.
Drag your feet.
Okay, next one's coming. Maybe he's the foot dragger. Oh. Mongoose running up the dam wall now. Going back. That was a beautiful shot, how that buffalo came into shot like that. Pretty much like this, how this big old boy comes into shot. And a banded mongoose dashing off to join its family, I guess you could call it. Clan mates. Clan. brethren. And leopard's definitely not here, because leopard would be stalking banded mongoose if it could, if it was here. They wouldn't be out in the open, they would be hurling verbal abuse to the predator if it was on the other side of the water. Shall we move on? I do want to be in a special place to show everybody a sunset of note. Uh-oh, I didn't wait. And also with these mongoose, we can maybe catch them again. They're a little ahead of us. Almost running parallel with the road. We might be able to catch them again. One of the saddest things I think I've ever seen, one of the saddest, was after some severe flooding in East Africa in 1998, when the Rufiji River burst its banks and the lake swelled exponentially, creating islands and swamplands and disrupting life for miles around these lakes. When the waters receded, animals obviously became stranded in different places, and we had the camp was right on the edge of the river, right at the entrance to a very large lake, a lake called Nzelakela. There was a colony of banded mongoose that must have somehow been displaced by the floodwaters, and they ended up on the other side of the river from us. Well, it wasn't really the river, because the river came down to the left, very fast flowing, it's one of the biggest rivers in East Africa, and right in front of camp was the entrance. It was the width of a river, was the entrance to this huge lake that was probably about the size of Western Gowrie. And this colony of banded mongoose came to the edge of this little entrance to the lake. Very still water, wasn't moving. And the area that they came from was pretty much a floodland. I mean, it was pretty much because the only animals that we used to get there were elephants, because it was submerged grassland more than anything else. Well, reeds really. And the waters had subsided enough that it left bare banks, and this little colony of mongoose obviously had been lost in this reed bed, vast reed bed, for gosh knows how long. And they decided that they were going to try and make a dash for it to our side of this entrance to the lake. And I think that there were 8 of them in total, and 5 of them took off swimming their little hearts out. And within seconds, a crocodile was there and took 3 of them in the water, took a 4th one as it was climbing onto a little island which was halfway towards our side. In fact, it was more than that. It was about 3/4 of the way. This one mongoose managed to make it onto this little island. The 4th mongoose, that was the 5th. The 4th mongoose was snapped as it came out of the water onto the little island, and the crocodile somehow managed to get around the island and got the 5th mongoose as it was trying to swim this last little patch back to dry land. 5 mongoose in the matter of a minute, less than a minute, in front of it. There was absolutely nothing I could do. There was no way I could interfere even if I wanted to. And the 3 remaining mongoose, that look on their faces from the other side of this little lake entrance, from this little patch of still water. And they turned and they went back into that reed bed, and something that stayed with me. I mean, I'm talking about something that must have happened in well, not must have, it happened in early 99, I think it was. The floods of 98. Summer of 98, I think it was. Yeah, it was December 98 going into 99. Or was it 97 going into, I don't know, I think it was 97 going into 98, actually. Yes, it was. Because then we had to rebuild the camp. And then we lost so much ground, we actually had to relocate the camp and rebuild it again a third time. But that's something that'll stay with me forever. Sad moments like that. Five banded mongoose. And the wonderful TV series at the moment, The Bandits of Selous, about the colony of banded mongoose in the Selous. It's the same game reserve I'm talking about. Could even be offspring of the very mongoose I mentioned. We're going to go back past the Rhino and back down Spum Road because maybe this leopard's going to come out somewhere. Who knows? I'm trying. Not much else happening on Western Gowrie today. It's just nice to take a slow drive and find things like we have been doing. I want to get to Philemon's Cut Line where we can watch the sunset. Soon we're going to have beautiful moonrise, which I'm hoping to catch on Zoe's Road. Zoe. Named after young Zoe Mulman, daughter of the owners. Thank you, Penny. Penny saying that over the years she's seen hornless, well not hornless, but buffalo with two broken, or both horns broken. Seen that on numerous occasions in the park, on many different occasions. So yeah, it might not necessarily be ye old judge. Although it is that road, Penny, that you say the sable on. I think that's where this buffalo was seen. So the reason why I thought it might be the same one was just because it's fairly close to the Sabi Sand. It's perhaps a little far for a big old bull buffalo to go wandering that far. Breeding herds would wander that far. The rhinos seem to have moved off. Excuse me, Hornbill. Hello, Ruth in Florida. When does the rainy season begin? When does the rainy season begin and when does the temperature drop? Well, first of all, as far as rainy season is concerned, it should be now. Technically, we are in spring. We should have already had maybe a decent rainfall already. wake up a few insects to come and pollinate some of these trees that are flowering. As far as when the temperature is going to drop, probably only going to be around April next year. We're heading into our summer, Ruth, so we're heading into warmer temperatures at the moment. So we have a mild drop in temperature at night in the summer months, but it can still be very warm. And the sun's going down. It's actually right now the perfect temperature. It is, I guess, what could be considered room temperature in this giant room of ours. How much room we've got. Wide open spaces. Who was that? Dixie? No, it wasn't Dixie Chicks. Blue Rodeo? No. Come, somebody help me out here. There was a song, Wide Open Spaces, by Melissa Etheridge. No. Hello, Zeps. Mangwa. They're hiding behind bushes. We're not going to get a good view of them. Right. We'll talk to you soon, Mrs. and Mrs. Zebra and youngster. Hello, John. Welcome to Safari TV, John. John is a first-time viewer. And unlike many first-time viewers who say they don't believe it's live, John didn't ask that question. John wants to know what the meaning of Doug... Ooh! You gave me a fright, child. Buff-crested bastard. Yeah, you can't see it unless it moves or unless we zoom in. And there it is. It kind of did a funny dance, funny sort of squat, wings open.
2009, we are back again to the ferry.
Oh, got the cold shivers. John wants to know what the meaning of Dugga boys is. Dugga is mud, John. And when buffalo bulls get old, they tend to lie around in the mud a lot. Hence the name Dugga boys. You can see his black belly when he shakes his feathers, like a black belly that he puffs out when he's doing a flight display, this bird. You gonna raise your red crest for me? Please? Just give us a glimpse. You wouldn't believe it, or you wouldn't say it. But hidden somewhere on that little head of his, is the most beautiful red crest, and you don't see any red at all until he ruffles his feathers and lifts that crest. I don't know where he even hides those feathers. Normally it's only raised when he's courting a female. Meanwhile we're missing some sunset. Okay, you preen yourself. You look pretty for the ladies. Later, Mr. Korhan. Buff-crested bustard. Probably should be interesting to see the difference in size between our buff-crested or our black-bellied bustards and the great bustards that have been reintroduced on Salisbury Plain. in the UK, having been extinct in the UK for many, many years, many decades, even a couple of centuries if I'm not mistaken. They brought in some great bustards from Russia, I believe, something, and now breeding quite happily. Salisbury Plain, an area where the famous Stonehenge is, and recently discovered smaller henge, I think it was. Something was discovered there recently. Some archaeologists have discovered some new stuff. Of course, well, it looked like the sun was getting so close to the horizon because we were on the other side of a ridge. Shows how hazy things are today. The sun is still a little ways off of the horizon, yet it's already getting very red. We'll get down onto this little open area at the bottom of Philemon's cut line where it joins Zoe's Road. Could get signal down there these days. Changing my spec. See if we can find a lovely, quite a ways to go actually. We'll be here a few minutes. Yes.
John, go a bit forward so I can have that note one in front of in the shot.
That's the one.
Yeah.
You want it in front, but just touching. And I was thinking of that. You know, we've got a little bit of time. Let's set this up nicely. Actually, just a scraggly little tree. Actually, find us a nice. That one. Yeah, I thought also there was that dead one there. Only problem is, oh, it was very bumpy because it's a cotton soil. It gets very soggy in the rainy season. Climb over a log. See, we might not get that lovely tree because these trees are in the way. How about there? Through there. Give depth to the picture. Although, no, not really, because we're going to miss it when it goes behind that big tree. So we can just get a quick shot of it. Let's try and get as many shots of this lovely sunset as we can. That doesn't really work. We can do better. It's nice to give you all a few options of maybe taking screenshots for sunset. The problem is that power line pole at the back there, but how there we'll have it coming down behind that dead tree. So we'll do. Beautiful sunset today. Look at that. I mean, it is so pale now, pale and red, that one could actually look at it with binoculars and you'll be able to see sunspots. I was listening to a very interesting thing today on the 100-year cycle of solar, 110-year or whatever cycle of solar flares. Oops. There, that's the sunset shot for today. And hopefully the power line pole at the back is obscured a little bit. Okay, I'm going to just be quiet for the sunset a minute. Turn the radio off and let's enjoy it. This, folks, is a very, very special time of the day in Africa. And whenever you visit Africa, if you ever do, hopefully whoever you're with and you're out in the bush, they do stop and just take a moment to just experience and enjoy the beauty of this special time of day. That is incredibly beautiful. Touching the mountains now. That's the escarpment, the Drakensberg Mountains, that it's just, we can't even see, it's so hazy. It's almost uncanny how it's being cut in half by an invisible force. swallowed up by the Drakensberg, the Dragon Mountains. Bye bye sunshine, see you tomorrow. Wasn't that something else, eh? Told you we'd find a nice little spot. Right, now for the second part of the sunset. The second special moment of this special day. Oh, it's up already. Tomorrow will be better. Even better. I guess it must be full moon tonight. Someone said it was last night. I didn't actually check. But now you see we've got to find ourselves a spot to see this moon rise. We're going to go up onto Zoe's Road. Tomorrow it'll be orange, more orange. Actually no, tomorrow it'll be just after sunrise, sunset. Tomorrow morning, game drive. Whoever's doing drive in the morning will be able to watch the sunrise and the moon set at the same time. But our moon's up already tonight. These are for all my fellow lunatics. Very special moment. Now, if you can keep it zoomed in, it's going to bounce around a little bit, but I want to try something, and I need it zoomed in to do this. It's going to bounce a little bit. Please excuse this. That's good enough. Get it out of shot and then back in shot and whoa, there.
That's a shot there.
That's beautiful. The tree slowly weathering away, standing up, barely decomposing. Probably been dead for decades. Now the moon moves almost as fast as the sun, but it is a little bit slower each day. About 40 something minutes slower each day, so that's what makes the different moon phases. Every day the angle is about 13 degrees different. Is it 13 degrees? I think so. Now, as you can see, it's not going straight up, it goes up at an angle, much like the sun goes down at an angle, but that's because of the tilt of the Earth. The axis of the Earth is off, slightly off, which gives the celestial equator, or the plane of equilibrium, I think it's called. The celestial equator, sort of not exactly directly overhead, at a slight angle, bending to the north at the moment. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to see it. Now I'm going to go back towards Philemon's cut line, and we're going to do another bypass of Treehouse Dam, because just in case we have the likes of a leopard. Yes, well, you see, we've only got a few minutes remaining. There you go, folks. Hope you enjoy our very special day today. Today being Rhino Awareness Day. We were very aware of 4 rhino today. And I'm hoping that at some point, somewhere in the world, when we were watching rhino, somebody was at 1 PM watching those rhino with us. Something has got to be done about this rhino poaching. And I'm hoping that these people that have been in court today, I hope they get their noses taken off. Of course, that's a bit harsh. Maybe take their hands off, like they used to do in the Arab countries. Steal something, take off your right hand. Hello, little boy Kudu. Are you eating flowers? Your mother is. Didn't see her, she was standing so still behind you. Or is that fresh green growth from... Okay, I'll give up. What did I do with my binoculars? Please tell me I didn't drop them. No, it's the fresh growth of a young apple leaf tree. And there I thought it was flowers. So, just a young male kudu with his mother. Probably his mother. Whoops. Maybe have enough time to just go past Treehouse Dam quickly. The chilly wind has come up from the south. There you go, Ruth, Florida. Temperature's dropping. That's what you were meaning. Or did you mean season-wise, since you were asking about the rain? I don't know if I finished that answer properly. So we should have had rains already. Technically spring should be the first rain, and then have a bit of a break. October's generally a bit of a dry month. Of course, now that I've said that, we'll have a wet October. And then November, December, sometimes, like last year, 2 years ago, I was at home for the whole of December. Waited the entire December for rain. Finally got some rain towards the end of the month. It was the first real good rains, in fact, at the end of the December. So things have been waiting until then for rain. Hope we don't have to wait all the way till December for some good rain. We might lose the likes of Twin Dam, Treehouse Dam. I don't know, maybe Treehouse Dam will be a bit of a mudwallow. Find a potato bush. Hello, Naomi. In Pretoria, I think. Pretoria rules the waves. I don't know why they say that. It's a song that we have in this country. We are marching to Pretoria. Pretoria, Pretoria. And then the end of the song goes, Pretoria rules the waves. Couldn't be further from the sea. Naomi, my nose is open. I'm looking out for that potato bush. But potato bush is down in the drainage line. And whilst there is a very strong smell of potato bush around the lodge, maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe down here at Treehouse Dam, but I don't think so. We need to be down in the Milwaukee. Naomi, how many times have I promised? I don't make many promises in my life because I fear that I will never be able to. Whoa, sorry Roller. You're up a little bit late there, child. Naomi, I will keep my promise. I will. Sadly not right now, because this is not potato bush. Oh, I nearly sneezed. This is not potato bush country. Habitat. And if anyone's wondering, potato bush is rather, actually it's quite an attractive little plant, you know, it's lovely soft little round green leaves, but they have the petiole of the leaf, the stem of the leaf is red, and the stems, the branchlets are reddish. It has these very inconspicuous, very small inconspicuous flowers that provide this lovely smell. The smell is like freshly cut potatoes. Induna, you decided to crawl out of your hole wherever you've been sleeping all day. Have you or haven't you? Are you around, child? 2 minutes. 2 minutes to show yourself, Induna, leopard. How many times have we been to Treehouse Dam this afternoon? 4, I think. Something like that. May the 4s be with you. But the 4s aren't on our side today, Kim. Patty's also an April baby. So is my mother. So is my father. Hello, Mr. Buffalo. Would you mind going to pull that leopard out of the bush for me? Well, my dear friends, the time has come.